Hello everybody, my name is Tanya and welcome back to another installment of On My Shelf. So a little while ago I put out a call for coordinates and this is the second video covering those coordinates that I received. I've got another 7 to look at this time, so let's get started. The first coordinate comes from Daniela Maria and that is Shelf 1 Book 8. And then it's Brave New World by Aldous Huxley and this is in a vintage classics edition. I have read this and really enjoyed it. This one is one of those must-read dystopian classics. We've got things like 1984 and Brave New World goes alongside that as something that you must read. I did really enjoy this one, I would definitely recommend it, and it's something that I think I need to go back for a reread of soon. The next coordinate comes from Olga Vasquez and that is Shelf 14 Book 12. And that is The Pirate's Wish by Cassandra Rose Clarke. This is the second book in this duology, I'm not sure what it's called, by Cassandra Rose Clarke. And I purchased this after it got quite popular on BookTube and people were letting everyone know that it was actually out of print and to grab copies while you could. So I thought it sounded really interesting and I snaffled up copies. I haven't read it yet, but they're now on my shelf for me to do so at some point. So this is a series that's kind of about pirates and assassins and sounds like a lot of fun, and I am looking forward to getting to it someday. The next coordinate is from Craving Books and it's Shelf 2 Book 7. And this is A Far Cry from Kensington by Muriel Spark. This is one that I showed in my most recent haul video when I cracked and purchased a whole bunch of these VMC designer editions because they're just beautiful. This is one that's no longer in print, no longer available, and I picked up on eBay. It's a really pretty good edition. It's only got a little bit of scuffing around the edges, but it's one that I knew I wanted. Muriel Spark I've read I think 4 books from now and really enjoy her writing, so I'm interested to get this one as well. Of all the authors that are covered in these VMC designer editions, she's one that I am familiar with. I'm also familiar with Daphne du Maurier, but for the most part they're authors that I've not read before. But this one, as somebody that I have read before, I definitely wanted to grab this one. And I bought it after I cracked and needed to have as many of the VMC designer editions as I could get. The next set of coordinates is from Vanessa Jaboski, and that is Shelf 20 Book 18. And this is The Great Gatsby by John Marsden. The last bookshelf I've got here I've set up as a bit of my kind of YA and children's book section. So this is right at the end of my John Marsden collection. I've got quite an extensive John Marsden collection. This is the one I've actually not read before and it is a beat up ex-library copy that I've got here. I would like to maybe try and get my own copy one day if it is still in print. I'm definitely hoping it is. I don't really know all that much about this at all except that it is by John Marsden and he's one of my absolute favourites as a child and in adulthood as well. John Marsden is an Australian author who writes for kids and for young adults. This one looks to be a junior book from the spine labelling here, but it's not one that I've ever read. So again, now that these are out of storage, I'm hoping that I will maybe pick them up and perhaps replace it with a better edition someday. The next coordinate comes from Grace Fairfax and it is Shelf 18 Book 9. Shelf 18 is actually devoted to one author, and so we have The Secret by K. Applegate, which is the 9th book in the Animals series. So I was hugely obsessed with Animals as a kid. I have the whole collection down there. I read the first 40 something. I petered out. I don't know why. I never finished the series, but I've completed it in adulthood, as in I've completed collecting the books in adulthood. I've still only read 40 something, but I really want to read through and complete this and see how it all ends up because I invested so much time as a child in this and I still really love the idea of the whole series. So again, now that these are out of storage and they're sitting on the shelf tantalizing down there, I'm hoping that maybe I will be able to start throwing one of these in every now and then, just as something light in between other things. They're not going to take all that long to read it all, but I'm really interested to see where this series actually went. The next coordinate comes from Deborah Hanf and it is Shelf 18 Book 18, and as I said that Shelf 18 was dedicated to a certain author, I'm sure you can guess what the 18th book on that shelf might be, and so that is The Decision, which is the 18th book in the Animal series. Again, I've read this one a long time ago. I just love this series so much. I need to read them again. And so the last coordinate for this video, it comes from Pan Alchemist and it is Shelf 16 Book 4. And that is Tara Road by Maeve Binchy. This one I purchased, I believe, because it is on quite a few 100 lists. So different Australian booksellers here, every year we put out a top 100 list. Most of those chains have now gone defunct, but one of them, Dimmick, still continues to do a top 100 or top 101 list every year. This one, I believe, is on quite a number of lists. I don't know whether it's still on the current lists, I can't remember anymore, but it shows up on quite a few, so it was something that I'd like to get at some point. This is another example of a second-hand book that I have on my shelf. The premise of this one sounds somewhat like the film with Cameron Diaz and Kate Winslet, The Holiday, where they swap houses. This one is from a woman in Dublin and a woman in New England in America that decided to swap homes and lives, and this is probably quite different to other things that you're used to seeing me read on this channel, but Maeve Binchy is definitely quite a respected Irish author, and I am interested to give this one a go at some point in time. It just hasn't been very high on your priority list. This wraps up the next installment of my On My Shelf videos, and I've got one more installment coming soon. On My Shelf was created by Ian from Ian Broom, and links to him will be down in the description. As always, if you've got any questions about any of the books that I showed here or anything that you can see in the background, do let me know. As always, thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!